Hello, all my YouTube friends. This book is called Smelly Bill. Love Stinks. When Bill saw Peachy Snugglins trotting past the rubbish bins, his knees went weak, his eyes grew wide, and he felt all gooey inside. Ooh, can you blame him? He dropped his bag of rotting stuff. He'd seen enough. He was in love. He found a rose and snatched it up and ran to catch the lucky pup. But when he saw who clutched her lead, his world turned very dim indeed. The face of Great Aunt Bleach stared down with curling lip and hateful frown. "Get lost!" she hollered. "Go on, shoo! My Peach is far too good for you." They marched straight past, snoots in the air, as if Bill simply wasn't even there. Aw, poor Smelly Bill. That night, Bill couldn't sleep. Instead, he climbed on top of the garden shed, and he said, "Oh," and howled and yowled at the moon, a loud and melancholy tune about the love that he could not win, because Peach was just too good for him. The next day, Bill's folks woke up early to see something quite extraordinary. Their stinking pet was in the tub, begging for a soapy scrub. What on earth they don't know what's going on with their Bill. Now, later in the park that day, a dog parade got underway. The poshest dogs you'll ever see, the finest of their pedigree, had come in every shape and size to try and win the best dog prize. Peach was also at the show, splendid in her scarlet bow. But who was that among the crowd, looking like an orange cloud with crooked snout and snaggled teeth and very skinny legs underneath? What creature was it? Can you tell? Why, it was Bill, but without the smell. He'd come to prove he was as fine as any fancy pants canine. The chatting crowd began to hush. "He's like a walking toilet brush," some rather nasty person sneered. And while the others laughed and jeered, Bill turned around, and in dismay, he slowly, sadly slunk away. Just then the show was interrupted when Vesuvius erupted. Vesuvius, a giant hound, chased all the other dogs around. Then, roaring, growling, barking, and snarling, he went for Aunt Bleach's darling. Oh, poor Peach. Poor Peach shot off across the park. She dashed into a forest, dark, hoping he wouldn't find her, but the beast was right behind her. Into a boggy swamp she flew and promptly sank into the goo. "Please save my Peachykins," Bleach cried, and all the other folks arrived. But they just snorted, "No chance, ducky. We don't want our clothing mucky." Bleach howled and screamed. She begged and she wept. Then suddenly, a creature leapt and splashed into that filthy bog to save Aunt Bleach's precious dog. Which creature was it? Can you tell? Look awful close. Can you tell? I guess we better turn the page. It was, of course, our Smelly Bill. Aw, look at Smelly Bill. And he's got Peach right there. Bleach hugged Bill to her chest. I think we know which dog's the best. Bill stinks, but he is brave and bold and has a heart of solid gold. Then Bleach said something very strange. She whispered, Bill, please never change. Later, when the day was done, our hero watched the setting sun turn slowly to a shade of red and sink behind the garden shed. He sat with his new sweetheart Peach, who he'd so bravely saved. And next to them sat Great Aunt Bleach to make sure they both behaved. The end. Did you like Smelly Bill? You'll have to tell me in the comments.